What's up, Jet fans? I just finished watching the Jets Game 8, Patriots in New York. Unfortunately, the Jets did lose to the Patriots, but it was just a one-score game, but they do fall to 5-3. So let's just jump right into it. So first off with the offense, obviously the biggest storyline going into this game is no Breece Hall, which I think definitely affected their rushing offense and it suffered in general, even with the backs that they were getting. They acquired James Robinson via trade, but their rushing did suffer without Breece Hall. Hopefully, it might get better as they gel more, but for right now, it did do a lot worse. Some more positive stuff. Garrett Wilson did do well, and he looked really good. Zach Wilson definitely really favored him. And I mean, I think maybe even favored him to a fault as Elijah Moore got no receptions. And I think going into the future, obviously you don't want to just feed Elijah Moore just to keep him happy. But going into the future, I think Jet fans all recognize that we probably want to keep Elijah Moore. And I think really, really good teams with multiple really good wide receivers, they kind of learn that, oh, we kind of have to feed both receivers, not just one. And I feel like they could have at least thrown in a couple jet sweeps for Elijah Moore or some easy checkdowns or something to get him some receptions because he did nothing in this game. And I don't think he'll be happy about that. But once again, another positive thing, Tyler Conklin had a really big game and got 2 touchdowns, and so that's pretty good. But now specifically, I want to talk about Zach Wilson because he did not have a really good game. He hadn't had a really good games a couple times, but they won. But this time they lost, and I do think that this game specifically was pretty bad compared to the wins. He had 3 interceptions, which were all off balance throws. It looked like, and so I do think there's something to be said. The offensive line is really bad, even though they don't let that many sacks. I think that's mostly because Zach Wilson is scrambling around and stuff. But if he's scrambling around so much, he's going to be throwing interceptions, and I feel like it has to be like a scale or a balance where, all right, let's stop scrambling around as much. And yes, Zach Wilson, you're going to get sacked more, but hopefully you're going to throw less interceptions. And I really do think these interceptions just really killed them because like it was a one-score game, so it wasn't even that far. Now going to the defense, the first thing I noticed was the defensive line. I think played really well, specifically pass rushing. Uh, And I think I want to talk about Quincy Williams, not Quinnen Williams. Quincy Williams, who is his brother, I believe. I think he's like a fan favorite, but the rest of the league doesn't really know too much about him. But he's a fan favorite, and he has so much effort, and he hits really hard. So I think he doesn't get enough love from the fans. And then also on the defensive line, John Franklin Myers. He got a roughing a passer penalty, which yeah was he like I think he definitely deserved the penalty. I'm not saying the penalty was wrong, but he got a penalty which got rid of a pick six and led to a Patriots field goal. So that's 10 points, right? 7 to the Jets and -3 to the Patriots, which definitely would have gave the Jets the advantage, and I think they could have won if that penalty wasn't there. So there is something to be said that John Franklin Myers did maybe cost the Jets this game, and he's had a pretty bad roughing the passer penalties in the past. So I think the coaches need to give that a look, because he's costing games, to be honest. And as a Jet fan, that could be pretty frustrating. Another thing, just generally about the defense, they were super good on first down, super good on second down, and then on third down, the crucial down, they just would mess it up, and I think that's a really big problem. And also, I think the Bill Belichick probably emphasizes this blocking. His receivers and tight ends were really good at blocking, and coupled with the Jets just not really being that good at one-on-one tackles this game for some reason, the Patriots got a bunch of like yards after catch or yards after contact, which was really frustrating to see because the Jets were right there, they're about to tackle them, and then they got blocked or their tackle just whiffed. And I think they were just giving up too many easy fundamental plays, which was frustrating, especially with how close this game was. Anyways, in conclusion, with all the injuries that the Jets received last game, I'm actually a little happy with how they performed. I think everyone was writing them off like, oh, they're going to be terrible now. And it was a one-score game. They definitely could have won this game. And so I'm not that mad at the results. I think LaFleur, he needs to change the offense a bit and adjust without having Brees Hall. And I think everyone on the offense, like Zach Wilson, he needs to step up. And LaFleur also needs to make it easy for everyone because now you don't have that superstar really on this team. Garrett Wilson might be a superstar, but you don't have Brees Hall, who is clearly the superstar of the offense. Anyways, all things considered, we're basically halfway through the season, and I don't think many Jet fans have been looking at mock drafts, which I always think is a positive sign. Normally, by this time of the season, we're trying to figure out who we're going to draft, but this year we're trying to figure out how we're going to win games. And I think that's a really big uh, forward step that the Jets are taking. We're now actually trying to win games this late into the season instead of trying to lose games to see if we can get a really good draft pick. So they do play the Bills next week, which I think will be tough, and then they could maybe get a revenge game on the Patriots. You never know. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.